Dragonflight Season 4, the hits, they keep on coming. I got an absolute amazing key here ready for you guys again. If you watched the previous videos, you'll recognize the theme that's continuing to happen here. Not a lot of people know the mechanics on keys, and not a lot of people know how to communicate that they don't know the mechanics on keys. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. The chat's kind of small, so I'm going to read you guys all of this, and you might be able to see something kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the person who could submit this could tell me what happened in the previous key or something like that. We see a Death Knight who was the party leader at some point. What looks like it says to me is cringe as fuck. Then GG, thank you for the run, I guess. Who knows what that was about? That was 2 minutes before this guy speaks. Then as the key is already formed and people are inside the dungeon, he says 2 to 3 minutes bio. That's you're not sure. So you gotta give a range. You don't know how long it's gonna take. Because he has to use the bathroom, he now requires a summon to the dungeon in the same zone as the major hub of the expansion. Guess what? Consolation prize, this Russian bear druid, he's got drum. He has drum. I got drum, he says, which is perfect because they have no bloodlust in this group and this is a tyrannical week. He types the first thing he does in the beginning of the dungeon is go bloodlust, go BL, assuming he means go bloodlust. He's the one, by the way, who said he's got drum. Here it is. This is the pack. He's going to go bloodlust right here. He just forgets to use the drums. And that's not a problem because it's a 9 tyrannical. Probably best to save it for the boss, but I think that's absolutely hilarious that he says go bloodlust after saying I have drums and then doesn't do it on the first pack. Now we're doing the ultra tank strategy here where you fight 2 enemies as the second pull of a tyrannical dungeon. Always love seeing this. One of the 2 mobs is now dead, so we can chain into the next pack, and in order to do that, he's going to go cat form and run over there and pull him. He's going to shift into human form and he's going to get leaped on by the mob. He doesn't die to that somehow. I don't know, is that a normal way to pull? You guys who play Guardian Druids can tell me. Next pack, another tough one. We got 3 of these mobs. You need to always make sure that when you are the tank, you pull them and then don't do any animations and stand still for 30 seconds. Okay, he's DC'd. That's what that was. No worries. This is not the best start for a tank, especially as the key holder, but we have plenty of time to earn our redemption here. Made it to the first boss. This part really cracks me up. Look at the guy. He's in like a funny little costume there. He is a gorilla in an orb. This was like a wrath toy or something like that. I remember how silly this looks. Looks particularly funny when you're the tank. It's quite funny because this costume makes it actually very easy to track his location. So here he is just kind of standing still for like 15 seconds. No worries. He's going to charge in. I think he gets stunned here. I'm pretty sure if you like don't break these guys out of stealth, they will stun you. And then you're going to see the rep pally. Actually, he's going to pull threat. He is then ultimately going to die to this threat. And then the funny part is while that guy's being res, you see him, the tank just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, no, bro, this is a 9. We got to keep moving here. This is a big, tight timer here. So he's just going to run on without 2 of the people. No worries at all. This is not going to be a trend, I promise you. We're down here like these guys are getting destroyed, these frogs. I'm telling you, bro, how many frogs are causing problems in this video game right now? Name a more destructive duo, frogs in World of Warcraft. Moving on, here comes the bear druid. He's just taking his time. You know, he was in cat form before. That was just for cosmetics. Now we're just going to run super slow. It's eventually going to get up here. There's going to be trash here, right? We know about this as the blood DK you got to get. Or yeah, just do that. Just walk right into them. He's gonna get double stunned. Everybody's got the mobs are running around. This is always cracks me up because it's really funny. And then you see him kind of just standing there trying to assess the situation. Like, what are these mobs? Where do these things come from? It's just kind of fun to watch like the movements of this tank. Like, watch. Okay, so he's gonna get up here. We're getting right to the threshold of the next room, and this is a dangerous room. You got to be very cautious when you walk into this room. I don't know that you have to be this cautious. The guy's just standing there again for like probably 15 seconds. Watch what he types in the chat. 30 seconds gone by. We're sitting here waiting for him. He's got to be concocting something big. Yeah, that's what he says. Burst +4 with all caps. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Apparently burst +4 means this. Again, just walk into the pack, just no idea these mobs exist. They just double stun them and everybody's got threat again. The paladin just gets instantly deleted. The warrior lasts a little bit longer, but then we do this. Watch what happens now. They both die and the guy who's recording the key, he battle reses both of them. 2 reses on a tyrannical 9 trash. That is not what you want to see. But this trash is very dangerous. like people need to interrupt. So yeah, maybe it ends up saving them something here. I don't really know. This is, you guys tell me, do you think this was a good investment considering what's going on with the tank? Yeah, like maybe legitimately this was the only way they were going to kill this pack, but everything is getting absolutely destroyed here at this point. It's just this subtle stuff that really makes me crack up. Look at him again. He's going to walk over the door. The mob's still alive. He's just going to stand and face the door for like 3 seconds and then he's going to turn around. Like he's like, what's this door? Knock, knock, knock. Who's over here? It's the Gulping Goliath, the new hardest boss in the video game, Dragonflight Season 4, trying to take over for Razan, and Gulping Goliath is the champion of the season. We talked a ton about this fight in Season 2, and honestly, it is continuing to live up to its noob trap. Here is why this fight is the biggest noob trap, though. There's a bunch of position-based mechanics. The frogs need to be kited properly, but the big one is the actual tank mechanic. We have the green circle going out. Somebody needs to soak this. Obviously, it's almost always going to be the tank here, and in this case, the guy does not know that, so he walks out of it. You see him walk into it and then walk back out. The Gulping Goliath, the biggest of frogs, is now licking this dude to death, which I did not know was possible. Not the only noob trap mechanic, though. We also have the leap mechanic, which is extremely easy to dodge, especially if you know it's coming, but you know, this tank, he doesn't know it's coming. This time we got frogs all spread out. This is kind of like the higher key trap. You see this a lot where people don't handle the frogs well. People got them all spread out. You see this balanced druid kind of like running them away from the boss. Here's the tank. He's in the mechanic. He moves out of the mechanic. Boss enrages again. And when I'm talking about licked to death, bro, take notes. Look at this frog just slapping him with his tongue. Watch it again. Watch the guy's health bar as the tongue is swinging freely and wildly. He is just getting chunked like 30-40% of his health every tongue lash, and he's just gonna go down like the Titanic. Now, if you remember about a few minutes ago, what happened? Oh yeah, 2 guys died to threat because the guy got stunned on the trash, and we got 0 combat reses for that guy. Now he's looking at the dungeon journal. I think he's trying to maybe explain it to him. I don't really know, but the rep pally is gonna get out ahead of that, and he's gonna say, Tank, you need to let yourself get eaten plus. Plus what? We'll never find out. He says, stay inside the green ring. That's well described. That's exactly all he needs to do. Just stand in the green ring the whole fight. Now the tank, who has obviously struggled in this dungeon, he's going to reply with the previous plus, he's going to put another plus. And this is the universal sign of understanding, because as we know from way back in the day in Naxxramas, we keep the pluses together. 2 pluses together equals we're on the same page, and now we're ready to go. The frog got the memo. Target druids with mechanics. Okay, watch what happens here. This might be the, look at the balance druid right now, the worst effort I have ever seen on the frogs. This has to be the worst effort. But to be fair, I'm pretty sure he's got like 4 of them on him. Like he gets a bop, and there are 4 frogs just not being eaten on the first set, which is the absolute easiest one on the fight. He's doing it again. I mean, he's got a curious little swaglet. These guys are so cute, by the way. I would love to take one of these as a pet. This is like the exact, this is how you don't ever do this. Look at this guy. He is like 100 yards away from the boss. 2 little swaggies on him. They're chasing him. They just want to lick him. They're friendly. It's really cool, actually. I love this mechanic here, and he is just going to take them on a journey. At least this time we got the gulp down. We see actually the rep pally and the tank get eaten. The tank comes out of the mechanic. He's super confused. He's now just got his back to the waterfall facing it. Got nothing going on. Maybe DC's again here. I have no idea what's happening. He's just standing over there. Never seen the boss tank over here. It looks really, really weird, but he's going to actually start moving again, and forgot the mechanics already, so he moves back out of the circle. It honestly looks like the frog's trying to get a drink, doesn't it? Look at the water just kind of pouring right near his mouth, and then here's the druid. He gets out of the mechanic again, so he gets enraged yet again. This is actually like maybe low-key genius, because now like all the frogs have to funnel in one direction. They're all going to spawn right next to him. This is actually kind of interesting how this works out. But he is going to go down after like, yeah, just the most hijinks of a fight you'll ever see. Then of course, we're not done with the fight. We have to continue to talk about the fight. The non-tank druid, the one who is not the tank, very important, says this is #1 bullshit. As he does that, the tank says, I need to suddenly make up a ton of time, so I'm going to do this absurd shit. Like, what the actual fuck is this guy doing right now? Watch this again, dude. He just like blows right past this dragon like it doesn't even exist. And then he's just like throwing out moonfire bolts, like hitting everything with the fists, kind of swiping and thrashing. And he gets so far away from everybody that he just dies. Like there's no shot. Meanwhile, this guy is still talking about the previous boss. No, you just don't know how to play it. Now, when I read that, I think he thinks he's talking to the tank because the tank was the one who made the major mistakes. The balance druid was the one like kiting the mobs around, yes, and it does seem like maybe he's replying to that. The druid says, yeah, it is bullshit basically when you have all the bullfrogs on you. And yeah, he was like the Pied Piper, bro. Like he's playing the flute, shepherding the frogs out of halls of infusion. We do recover from that, by the way. Tank just like comes back without any fanfare. Nobody even comments on that journey he just went on. He's definitely not going to do that again. I promise you that. You will not see him do that again. Much more conservative pull this time. Just going to fight the 3. We know the dragon's really dangerous now. We learned that the hard way. You know, we got the dragon. Dragons are dangerous, just like in all versions of WoW. They're always a little bit dangerous. So when you're fighting dragons, what you want to do is you want to try to chain pull them into more trash. That's exactly what this guy does. He gets killed by that decision, and he is now dead a second time. This is the same mob that killed him the first time, just in a little bit different order. It's going to turn into a full-on mess. The paladin is going to go down here again, and the tank is going to recover. I'm not even sure how he gets threat back, but like we have like some of the hardest trash all standing here. Just not the pack. You do not want to pull it like this, especially after you've already wiped to it. Like, he's just going to get destroyed. He's kind of got surrounded on all sides by these mobs. Third death to this dragon. This is now the 3rd time it's killed him. He's back again, barely hanging on here. Paladin has like a sliver of mana. We got mad debuffs going out like crazy. Dragon is finally gonna die. And at this point, he's learned his lesson. He's understanding now this dragon killed him 3 times. He's starting to see like, you know, this is a pretty dangerous pack. I probably don't want to rush ahead and especially pull when there's no healer there. Just kidding. Go ahead and take a look at the frames. That is exactly what he is going to do. He's just going to run down there. This is actually really funny. Just kind of watch the health bar as you watch the screen. You're going to be able to see his character here. It's coming up in the shot right now. 3, 2, 1, charges in, swipes, bing, bang, boom, 3, 2, 1, down. They're going to full wipe to that, which is actually crazy to even say at this point after you've died this many times in this hallway. The balance druid then just types like 2 O's that are meant to look like googly eyes. Meanwhile, this tank is on like a death treadmill. Like he just runs back while again nobody's down there because he's the first one to recover from the wipe, and he is actually going to die a 5th time in this hallway. They're all running back. This is like only the 2nd death for these guys. Here's the 3rd death. Watch the tank again. This dude's coming in hot yet again. The red pally's all the way back there. He died as well. And again, the guardian druid just like he's in such a rush. He just simply does not care. Opens with mana Grief Taurus, almost gets 1 shot during that window there. They actually pull it. All 5 people are finally here though. This is a hard pack, no doubt. I mean, it is tyrannical. There's only one affix and it's volcanic, so you wouldn't think it would cause this much problems, but the tank is going to go down like the Titanic yet again. 6 deaths in this hallway. Probably got stunned there. It's hard to actually see, but yeah, it looks like he probably got stunned and killed again. Now the paladin says something that absolutely cracks me up at this point. He goes, "My last try." It's like, bro, I don't think you could count 2 of those as tries. Like the guy literally ran in alone and died. That's not a try. You would not count that, right? But he means if we wipe again, I'm done, all right? And it's coming close because the druid does the exact same thing. He charges in when multiple people aren't there. Hardest pack in the dungeon. The red pally has yet to do damage on the pack. Big heals coming in from both the tank and the healer, and we're going to get away with it, even though again he's standing in the stun circle there. Presumably only reading what the red pally said right now. This is what unfolds. 550 red pally types somebody rep toy, and the druid, the tank, says so. Watch this happen in real time. Just standing here, just waiting, typing, maybe not typing very well. There's a couple typos. He's got to correct it. He's still typing. I mean, there was still waiting. There's no repair toy, by the way. The balance druid types 2 question marks with a bunch of spaces. Now he says, "You already defeated? You already defeated, paladin?" The guy says, question mark, go. He says, no. And that is it. The guy leaves his own group after 6 deaths in the previous hallway and that cryptic ass bullshit. And then he hearts in the middle of the dungeon. But my man says, what the actual fuck was that? And that is a great question, my friend. But you know, we gotta do this, right? Look at what is on the screen. Still talking about the last boss, dude. He says, let me explain the previous boss. There's no need for that, my friend. The dungeon is now over. This season is just unbelievable. I keep getting submitted hit after hit. So if you guys are out there running keys, especially lower keys, please, please, please press that record button. Send them in to me, man. We have had some absolute gems thus far. Thank you for watching. As always, it's a pleasure. Can't wait to read the comments. We will see you guys in the next video.